Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is so great to see you all again. What an incredible week. Brian and I were just speaking before we jumped on here live, how incredible this week has been. I know that we've both been blown away in just every single day, and the teachings are phenomenal. We're absolutely loving it, and I know and trust that you are too. So Brian and I decided to just come together tonight, and we were just discussing about what should we speak about. And obviously, it was going to be about Bob, but there's just so much. And as you might have realized by now, Brian and I like to speak. It's our favorite thing to do, especially about Bob, especially about this material, especially about Kim and all the good that comes with it. So, Brian, I know we decided we're going to share some points from this week. We're going to try and do a 20, 25-minute wrap up of just in our opinion, the most important points. So, why don't you start off with your favorite point or the biggest point from this week?
Thanks very much, Dane. No, it's been great this week. As I say, I've been away off around the world. I was in the Maldives, now I'm over here in Dubai. And I wasn't, because the earth changed, I'm not fully getting into it, but I know exactly what this is all about and what Bob has been teaching. I've been listening to the audio books when I'm out walking on the beach, and as I'm doing, because people talk about this material that we always talk about, oh, it's your working or something like that. Me and Ciaran never work a moment. And because of Bob's teachings have taught us and what it does inside us. He's talked about desire this week, but the biggest thing that I said was about letting go. He talked about is letting go of having and getting everything, because I realized when I run after something, it always runs further away from me. And Paul was trying to get us into that thinking, but it's only a calmness of mind that you're going to be able to think properly and achieve the things you truly want. And throughout this week, I see a lot of new people coming in. I see a lot of people reaching out and stuff and getting a newfound awareness. And that's what it is. When you've got that sense of knowingness, that sense of awareness, you can let go of not getting this and not getting that, because everybody has to realize the thought of the thing is going to be better than actually receiving the thing. It is so much, like, I mean, the thought of me, don't get me wrong, it's been good. I'm sitting here in the balcony and over in Dubai, about to go out here on Saturday night. It's one of these things that I like, that I knew the thought that I brought 3 months of this year to get myself go. But I knew that that thought was never going to be, the experience of this year was never going to be as good as that thought. And that's why you have to cherish it. You cherish the thought that you want something, then you let it go. And that is something that we do, because if we keep asking for something and keep waiting and keep checking and keep going, is it here yet? Is it here yet? We're always going to be in that place of suffering, because you're always going to be a place from lack. And Bob has said that so much. We were born rich, so you have everything that you require in this life to feel every single bit of happiness that you ever wanted. In that regard, then, you do not require that thing. It is something inside you, and that's what we're doing. We're releasing it every time by that thought. It's our thoughts that are going to bring the thing to us, and it's our thoughts that are going to bring us that feeling, that understand, knowing what we truly want. And it is that letting go, Ciaran. I have literally let go this week. I know that there's a lot going on back home and stuff with Dynamite, but I'm always tuning in. But I know to let go, because I got to stay on a good vibration. I've attracted this to me, and it's enjoyable. But I'm looking, and I'm sitting here right now, planning the next thing. But I'm not going to be putting conditions on the result. I'm not going to be saying, when's it here, when's it here, when's it here. I'm just going to let it go. That's that whole feeling that Bob was probably expressing this week. And that was one thing that stood out for me. And it is that understanding that you just don't have to have everything right now. And everything's okay when it's not okay. You got to be sitting okay, sitting that feeling, Ciaran, and not understand that everything's going to work out for the way you want it. What about you?
Yeah, I love that. And one of my favorite points just ties in so well with that. And when he spoke about the law of vibration, I know he done a big session around that, about whatever you're in tune with, about tuning in. And that's exactly what you're saying, Brian, is you tune into it, but you're not changing, you're not looking to see, am I in tune, am I in tune, am I in tune? If you're in tune, you would know you're in tune and you would let that go. And that's such a big point, and the law of vibration just fascinates me. I know I've said this week already, and I'm sure people have heard me say this a load of times, but I'm just thinking on a different way to say the same thing. But it's when Bob speaks about looking at your hand, and seeing that the molecules are vibrating. That whatever you look at, I've got paper here. It used to be a tree. It used to be an acorn. So the acorn was in the ground, vibrating. It attracted to it all that it needed, became a tree. We called it a tree. We took that tree, we chopped it up, called it wood, took that wood, turned it into paper. And it's just the same thing with a different vibration. And that just fascinates me. And I know Bob spoke at length during the week as well about electricity. Brian used to be an electrician. That was close. Brian used to be an electrician, and I used to be a mechanical engineer. So something that we find very fascinating, we speak about a lot, is about how Bob talks about that power flowing to and through you, that it's the same as electricity, and that the only limit that is on that power is us. So we are the resistance, we are the resistor. If you want a 10-volt output, you're only going to get 10 volts. If you want a 100-volt output, you'll get 100 volts. The only difference that's going to determine that is the resistor. The power is there. So the power is there for each and every single one of us. And that's just the most, that just blows my mind thinking about it time and time again, because nobody denies that electricity works. I've got a light here. I've got my laptop plugged in, it's charging. No, the electricity's flowing, it's working. Can we hear it work? Can we hear, see, smell, taste, or touch it working? No. And as Bob said, you can either cook your dinner or cook the man. And it's something that's very, very exciting to go, okay, we all have goals, whether it be, success in some form, like a new house or a car or whatever. But when you really think about the power we have, why not have 10 cars? Why not have 10 houses? And I know it's something that we always joke about.
Unless, Dane, you were talking about they cannot see electricity, they cannot hear it, they cannot feel it. Well, you can definitely feel it, because that's the power of energy, and that's always is. Like, and somebody says love and all, you can never see it or hear it, feel it, but you do feel it. You feel it inside you. It always comes from in you, and that's something I always say when it comes to electricity. Don't worry about the how, just use it when it's already there. Walk by faith and not by sight. The other one that left me, hey, buddy, that he was talking about is the razor's edge. Like, it really resonates with me in the sense of being that we are always living on a razor's edge. And whether you want something, you're going to have to get on the edge of something new, and you're going to have to do it. But that razor's edge, failure is just so close to it, and so is success. And most people don't want to go on that razor's edge because it's just walking too much of a fine line. But I'm walking around here in Dubai. I was away, and the world's largest water park. It's incredible what they've done. They have this world's largest water park, 60 odd acres. They built in the sea, and that was supposed to be called impossible. And we think so many things are impossible for us to have our dream, us to have our success. But if you're ever going to, like, he had to go, this could have been the greatest, biggest failure. Dubai could have been the greatest, biggest failure ever. But one man had a dream. And he decided he was going to go after it. But he put himself on that edge. He was on a razor's edge. He must have met so many failures trying to build 63 acres of new land and the Palm Island that's just right behind me. That is one of the most incredible things. My life, every time I get up, I was going out weekends and I was on a razor's edge, whether I live or die. And you know what? That's what we talked about all the time. We're taking risks every single day, but a lot of people are taking risks to wake up. The biggest risk of them all is to live this life and try and build somebody else's dream and live your dream sitting by the side, never touched, never untouched. And that's what Bob was on here the whole time. He says every single person was given a gift here today, and we have an opportunity to use it. And it's going to be up to you whether you decide it, but you're going to have to go on that life, that razor's edge. Failure is just so close, and success is just on that other side. But you got to understand that failures are just a guidance system. It is. We talk about a GPS system, a rocket, when they wanted to go to the moon, it failed its way to the moon. That's what it did. Like, it autocorrect, shift. That's your life going there. But you're definitely, if you've got a complete vision where you wanted to go, like that vision, that goal, that idea, that worthy ideal, you're going to fail all the time. But you know what? It's better to live that whole life feeling towards going for something than getting up every day and feeling it's something you never tried to go after, feeling it's something every day that you never wanted to be in the first place. That's what Bob was talking about, that razor's edge. You got to think about this. Life and death, you don't know. The biggest risk you can do is go to bed tonight, because you know why? You've not promised to wake up tomorrow. You're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised yesterday's gone and tomorrow's in the future. You've only got now. And what you decide in this day and age, what you do right now. That's why me and Ciaran are inspired, because we know what's coming in Bob and we hear it and we feel it. And we want to express and share it from the treetops. We want to bring this newfound awareness and understanding to the masses to help people live the life that they truly want. And if you think that you maybe want £1 million over here is just buttons. In this city, it just blows my mind. There's Lamborghini flat out like bus stops, just Lamborghinis everywhere. And like there's a guy even comes around our pool and he's cleaning your sunglasses. That's what they do. There, people over here, they know how to look after you. There's just a new level of wealth and stuff. And for me, thinking back home about what I wanted, my goals and stuff, they've just went up to a new level. Because I see what's truly possible. I see what's happening here all the time. Anything can be truly possible, but you have to be willing to go on that walk on that razor's edge. And you know what? You're more likely to hit more times failure, because me and Ciaran know this for fact. 99% of the time, you're never going to see what you truly want until it's boom in your hands. And by the time you get it in your hands, you'll be thinking about what you want next.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to walk that line. That's what, Ciaran, we've been doing that constantly.
Totally. And again, that always comes back to persistence. But what you're saying is the razor's edge, that it's that one more phone call could be the one, or one more email could be the one, but it's easy to stop. And during the week they spoke about Babe Ruth in the baseball, and that everybody knows Babe Ruth has the most home runs, but he also struck out the most. But nobody remembers the failures. And that's what's important. Nobody cares. Nobody remembers the failures. Only you. And I know they spoke about that your goal needs to be big. It needs to be worth feeling a bit of fear from time to time and being able to move forward.
Just broke off. I just try you pause there.
Oh, okay, good. I have a little bit of technical difficulties today, but we seem to be good, are we?
Yeah, it seems right. But hey, Ciaran, we're talking about that failure. Like, look at J.K. Rowling. She was turned down 12 times, before she hit it. Like, she was the biggest author in the world, but 12 times she said no to it. You had to see, like you, good guy, Dr. Wayne Dyer, his book failed, his first book ever failed. What did he do? He bought 6,000 copies of it himself just to get another book released, published, and more printed. He had to buy them all himself. He was a complete failure, but he bought every book himself. So the publisher then redid it. He persisted. He believed in what he had. And each and every one of us got to believe in us, because we have it all that we need.
Definitely. And that comes back to what I was saying earlier about the only limit on the output is ourselves. That's what Bob said, that the only limits that we ever have is ourselves. It's in our thinking. And, when you use the Wayne Dyer example, how many New York bestseller books had he had since? He's wrote like 30 odd books since, but you had to persist through the first one. But that comes into nicely with what I wanted to share my next biggest point from this week. And that's when Bob speaks about the image maker and the difference between having a want on a conscious level and an expectation on a subconscious level. Because you won't get what you want, you get what you expect. If you want success and expect failure, you're going to fail every single time. And it's just the understanding that goes with that to go, okay, this power is flowing to and through me. Whatever I think and create an image of and suppress in my subconscious mind must move into form. It must. That's the law. So what it is that you think about, and it's something that's very interesting. Like whenever we say words like money, what's the image that comes in your mind? When I say your name, or how are you, or how are your results? When we talk about the areas people don't generally like to talk about, what are the images that come up? Or even if I say, it's the weekend now, almost Monday morning, what is the feeling? What is the vibration you feel? Because remember, that feeling is the vibration that you're in. And if it doesn't feel too good, or if it doesn't feel exciting, that's your vibration. That's you consciously aware of your vibration. So change the image. That's what Bob spoke about, that the output of the power, how you use it. So I just think that fascinates me so much, that just whatever the image, you spoke about it there, Brian, when you spoke about the Lamborghini, how many people genuinely have an image of them in a Lamborghini in their mind, or owning one, being in one, driving one? Because until you have that image, you're not going to direct the power that's going to enable you to have it. It's something that it just blows my mind every single time.
Well, Ciaran, it's just all about awareness. Like, you start putting yourself in these positions and seeing these things. Like there's many people wouldn't understand. We were flying business class. People wouldn't realize we had to drive 2 hours to get a different type of plane, because there's only a certain type of plane called an A380 that has a bar in it. You have a bar at the back of it, and you can get up and meet so many interesting people. And I didn't know that until I started doing that. And the whole plane is actually set out even a lot more different, the way the things and the way you treat them. But it's just because you have to start putting yourself in these crazy expectations. Me and you talked about going on a private jet stuff, and we've looked into it. We've looked into the prices of the value of it. But it's just what me and Ciaran are doing. It's not a flying business class or going on the jet. We're stretching our awareness. We're finding out new things on a new level, on a higher vibration. We want to live at, and we want to be able to perform at that highest level. So we must be high performing, high achievers. And that's why we always put ourselves up above in everything we ever want to do. So, yeah.
Totally. And I think that is the biggest lesson coming out of this week, is that don't limit yourself. You can do, be, and have whatever you want. That the only limit on our thinking is the limits that we put on it. And that if we can think on a higher frequency, as you said, Brian, and we can build that belief, build that expectancy, it must happen. It has to. Like, that's the law. That's what really blows my mind, that it has to work. Bob beautifully showcased so many examples of people that became the top in their industry in insurance sales, and even John, the props they had and how they explained it was just phenomenal. And just to see Bob in the early days explaining that and seeing how he took what he was teaching and applied it to his own life and his own success. When we have the evening sessions with him, it's 2 completely different people. It's the same person, 2 different people, and it's just all from awareness. It's from study, and that's what it's all about. And I think that's the best thing that we can do leaving this week, is study to understand. That's what Bob says so much. It's not about the information. It's not about being able to recite it. It's about being able to apply it. It's about being able to set up the image of what you want and knowing how you can put that onto your subconscious mind and what that will mean for you. So it was just an incredible week, and I want to thank each and every single one of you for coming and watching it. However little or however much you were involved with the week, it's been an incredible week. I'm very grateful to be part of this, and I know Brian is too. So we just want to leave it there. We hope you enjoy our takeaways, and I look forward to speaking with you in the very near future. Thanks very much, guys.